how a technical, architectural considerations for implementing an ADV takes place.
Okay. So I'll try to remain as straightforward and non-technical in my answer as possible, because we can get into a lot of discussion when we talk about JISA system architecture and how to handle large volumes of data. But first and foremost, the good thing is that the guidelines now obviously allow you to store or say position your other data vault, not just in an on-prem kind of an environment, but you can also host it in a GCC cloud environment. The latest guidelines also allow you to take Aadhaar Data Vault as a service from, say, the already registered AUA KUAs or GCC empaneled cloud service providers or any existing Aadhaar Data Vault solution providers who have in the past done deployments on-prem. All of these the flexibility that has been provided now obviously opens the door to various different architectures being allowed for Aadhaar Data Vault, So then the next thing to consider is obviously whether or not you have an on-prem data center to position the HSM and other data vault solutions. So there's two main aspects to an ADV solution. One is, of course, having an HSM, which is traditionally a hardware device. And second, obviously, is the software stack of the Aadhaar Data Vault, which is going to be your tokenization engine or your integrations with the end application and with the vault and all of those things. So if you don't have, say, any dedicated data center, or if you don't want to invest on, say, procuring rack space to position the HSM, you can, say, go towards an ADV as a SaaS, ADV as a service, or ADV that is deployed on a cloud platform. The HSM at least is hosted in a GCC kind of environment. That is the first flexibility or architectural consideration. Second, of course, is Aadhaar data is most of the organizations, say big banks or big enterprise organizations or any of the HRMS solution providers, they deal in, say, lakhs and crores of Aadhaar numbers. Because as the identity itself, Aadhaar data is something which every Indian citizen should have an Aadhaar data of its own. And if you see in the true sense of the compliance, every organization or every body storing or processing Aadhaar data needs to implement Aadhaar Data Vault. So as much as possible, the big organizations are focusing or are trying their best to comply with Aadhaar Data Vault solutions. So for the bigger ones, there's obviously a question of volumetric system. If they have lakhs and lakhs or crores of Aadhaar data, then they need to make sure that the architecture that they're the underlying architecture is highly scalable. It is spread across the multiple environments, and those kind of challenges need to be considered as the data scales. So these are some of the important, architectural considerations or things to keep in mind when you're implementing an ADU solution.